What's up, Internet? I'm Chimera, and I am bad at Homecoming City of Heroes. Professor Lareaux here is just having a conversation with the enhancement vendor. No big deal. We are still, I believe, um, investigating magical artifacts belonging to Mercades Shelton's family. And we defeated Hector in our last episode using the Crown of Glory, I believe, to incite a riot within the warriors, um, and potentially causing innocents to be hurt um, in the process. So we put a stop to that. Excellent work, Professor Lareaux. You've seriously weakened Hector's forces by taking down his generals. Oh, that's right. We haven't actually taken out Hector yet. We just took out his lieutenants or whatever, his generals. I'm sorry for using the wrong terminology there. According to Hector's generals, Hector has set up a base of operations on a cargo vessel anchored at Talos Island. Without his generals, he will be hard-pressed to prevent an assault. I want you to take down Hector and recover the Crown of Glory, Professor Lareaux. Remember, the Crown of Glory empowers the wearer with such incredible leader. Remember, the Crown of Glory The Crown of Glory empowers the wearer with incredible leadership capabilities. I imagine even without his generals that Hector will be a powerful adversary. Stay alert. I have a feeling that Odysseus might make a play for the crown as well. So there's a chance we might have to take on not one, but two leaders. You get the feeling that your arrival was not only expected, but counted on. After beating down Hector's generals, you learn from the... Oh, I already did that one. Oh, you recovered the Crown of Glory. Huh. Alright, so... Am I supposed to beat up those dudes? Oh, I'm being ambushed. I didn't even. Why is the mission over? I'm confused. Whatever. I won't look a gift horse in the mouth. The crown of glory. You've done it, Professor Lareaux. With Odysseus' betrayal and attempt to steal the crown after you defeated Hector, I have a feeling that he may be behind the theft of my artifacts in the first place. But that doesn't matter now. You have recovered the most powerful of my family's heirlooms, and here, in the Midnighter Club, not only will they be safe from the world, but the world will be safe from them. Magic is a fickle and powerful thing, Professor Lareaux. It should only be used by those who can understand it, control it, and most importantly, do good with it. This is one of the core beliefs of the Midnight Squad, a belief that you have now personally upheld. Thank you, Professor Lareaux. The Midnight Squad will always remember what you have done here today. So, no more missions from her. And these dudes are just repeatables. So, I'm actually kind of at a loss of where to go next. Um, all right, we're going to go to First Ward. First Ward is content that came out and Going Rogue. It's Praetoria. So we're going back to Interrogator Lareaux's home turf. Obviously, we're not going to see him, but Praetoria content is notorious for being almost unreasonably difficult. There's there are a lot of damage types in the game. You could think of them like in a fantasy setting, it'd be like elemental. Uh, different elements do different kinds of damage. And in this particular game, this is like an old school formula where like every type of damage has its own type of defense. Um, and defense in this game just translates to whether or not you get hit. And then on top of that, there's another layer of mitigation known as resistance, which is essentially just damage reduction. And again, it's typed. So there's one particular type of damage that has almost no resistance and no defense. Um, in other words, there are no power sets that are specifically designed to protect against this one specific type of damage, and that's psionic damage. And there's a lot of that. There's a lot of psionic damage in Praetorian content, so it kind of ups the difficulty curve a little bit. But that's fine because there's still a lot of other enemy groups that don't use psionic damage to kind of like even it out a little bit. So this is where our next adventure will take us. It would seem the whispers are true. This truly is a world of opposites. But to you, my world must seem bizarre and backwards as well. So similar they are, but with so many differences too. I am Mistress Ava, and I bring a message from the Carnival of Light to the heroes of this world. We need your help against a great stirring evil, and if it is not stopped, then it will consume us all. The Carnival of Light is the Praetorian or alternate universe counterpart to the Carnival of Shadows, which we have not encountered yet, I believe. But that's neither here nor there. This magical portal links our two worlds together. It will take you to the underground of Praetoria's imperial city, where you must speak with Doorman. He guards the door to nowhere. You are sorely needed by the people of nowhere. Will you be a champion of nowhere, or let them remain forgotten? I'll help if I can, but this is all very strange. Worry not, brave hero. Nowhere is a real place, with real people, in real peril. It is the place that people find themselves when they are no longer fit in Cole's carefully orchestrated order. That's Emperor Cole, also known as Tyrant, the leader of Praetoria. They are taken to nowhere, also known as the First Ward, where no one lives, but everyone suffers. All right. I'm going to try not to spoil many details about this because I believe that much of the First Ward's like history and purpose and all of that is revealed through storytelling beats during the missions. So, I see Mistress Eva has found someone after all. Good, for it is not just the people of nowhere that need your help. The Carnival of Light believes we are all in danger. I know you would not have come if you did not wish to help these people. But in order to do so, you must understand what it is you will be facing. Speak with me if you are ready to learn the truth which so many Praetorians do not know. Very well. Mistress Eva sent you? She said the people of First Ward needed my help. First Ward is a place that does not exist for your average Praetorian citizen. It is a place where those who would upset the status quo of Praetoria are taken to disappear. This is why some call it nowhere. It is more than just the people of First Ward who need your help, Professor Lareaux. All of Praetoria may be in grave danger. Grave danger? Back up. Tell me what's going on. Something powerful has happened in the First Ward. It has become a nexus point of chaos. If that chaos is allowed to take root, then there may be nothing in this world or any other that can stop it. What evil is behind this chaos? You must look beyond the labels of good and evil in First Ward, Professor Lareaux. The only way to put an end to this chaos is to come together, one and all. If we stay divided, then we shall all surely fall. What are you saying exactly? You have been chosen by Mistress Eva, not because of your loyalties, but because you... Going too fast again. You have been chosen by Mistress Eva, not because of your loyalties, but because you are strong enough to change the tide before it is too late for us all. The Carnival has recruited others who are just as strong to help. We must all come together to face this threat before it is too late. Then you recruited Praetorians and villains? You will find that in First Ward, where you came from, matters less than what you can contribute. You do not have to work directly with those who you would call enemy, but if we are to prevail, then maintaining neutral relations will suffice. We can use all the help we can get. This sounds serious. I'll help in whatever way I can. I knew I could count on you from the moment we first met, like 45 seconds ago. You're going to need to talk to Jester. He's the first person to have been exiled to First Ward. You're going to need to talk to Jester. He's the first person to have been exiled to First Ward that wasn't a seer in Praetor Tillman's seer program. He can fill you in on the details. When you are ready to proceed to First Ward, let me know. It sounds as if there's little time to lose. Jester has been in First Ward longer than anyone. It's said when the second person came to First Ward, they asked Jester where they were, and he said nowhere. You will hear many such tales in your travels throughout the destroyed city. Most of them are wild speculation, but any of them could be hiding a truth about how this chaos came to be. I'll keep that in mind. Remember, Professor Lareaux, not everything is as it seems in First Ward. The bizarre is the normal, and the sane are the insane. But most of all, watch your back. Ah, the actors begin to take the stage. I am Jester, and I welcome you to this patch of rough we call home. Still, it's got its charms. Well, the swirling vortex in the sky is less impressive during the day, but the picture book history of the Hamadan Wars is well preserved in the ruins, and continuing to play out even today. Not quite what you expected, hmm? What is that swirling vortex in the sky? Jester doesn't even look at the vortex, but instead he giggles bizarrely. We have no idea. What I know is that when the vortex appeared, that's when First Ward got very interesting. That's when the seeds of Hamadan started arriving, and when the people and the alliances that kept them civil started to disintegrate. Tell me about the seeds of Hamadan. Years ago, First Ward was attacked and nearly destroyed by the devouring earth. Though the creatures were eventually pushed back and defeated, it was decided to abandon First Ward and rebuild in Neutropolis. Now, with the coming of the Vortex, the seeds of Hamadan renew their assault and colonization of the city. If they are allowed to take root here, then the city will be forever lost. What other dangers are there? Jester looks about as if for danger. Well, the biggest threat is dust. Dust? I mean, I suppose it could be toxic. Jester laughs. No, 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 not dust. Dust. He sounds out each letter of the acronym. D-U-S-T. It stands for Dim-Witted Urban Strike Team, but my definition may be slightly skewed. Make no mistake, Professor Lareaux. Dust is dangerous. Few people encounter them and are ever seen again. What are they doing here? That is a fine question indeed. As far as I've been able to determine, dust is here to come. Dust is here to conduct live combat training, using those exiled to First Ward as their most dangerous prey. They are an urban combat team. Their goal is to pacify urban areas by neutralizing all resistance, civilian or otherwise. For now they remain in the area designated the Free Fire Zone, but they do make forays into other regions of the First Ward, and rarely take prisoners. Dust is the reason we created the Shadowed Paths. What are the Shadowed Paths? The Shadowed Paths are places where this world and the spirit realm overlap. I don't know the specifics. Really? I don't know the specifics of how they were made or why they can exist, but I do know that it has to do with a weakening of the fabric between the realms of the living and the dead. The shadowed paths conceal those within them from the world of the living, and so we can move unseen by dust and maintain communication throughout the First Ward without fear of dust interference. Still, it is not a perfect system, and there are gaps. If you are mindful, however, you can get around unnoticed. As far as the survivor compound, As far as the survivor compound, even. Tell me about this survivor compound. The survivor compound is located in western. The survivor compound is located in western Elton. I can't make these windows and therefore the words any bigger without making my entire UI bigger, and that would be super annoying. The survivor compound is located in western Eltontown and is the stronghold from which civilization clings on against the odds. This is also the crux from which the chaos that threatens to undo us all is manifesting. Mistress Nadia of the Carnival of Light has been overseeing the rapidly degrading situation. If you are to make a difference, it is with her that you must start. I recommend using the shadowed paths to make your way to Nadia. Dust controls the territory between here and there. Speak with Meredith. She is the walker of the shadowed paths and will show you the way. I'm ready to go. Welcome to the place that should not exist, Professor Lareaux. I am Meredith, a guide to the world between worlds. We are between worlds now, half spirit, half material, yet still whole. The carnival, too, is split in two, yet remains whole, for now. The events at the survivor compound have jeopardized the tenuous peace which First Ward has relied upon for years, merely to survive. The Carnival of Light is now mirrored by the Carnival of War. Both seek the same thing, but their methodology is very different. Violently different. As we speak, the Carnival of War's actions threaten to cut the last threads of sanity here in First Ward. I beg of you to stop them before it is too late. The Carnival of War has trapped some survivor scavengers in an abandoned office not far from here. They seek to make an example of them in hopes that the people of the survivor compound will lay down their arms against the carnival. But we all know that it will merely incite open conflict. Stop the Carnival of War and rescue the scavengers they have captured before it is too late. The heady aroma of mildew hangs heavy in the air. So you could see that the Carnival Light was there. They were kind of like themed in like white and gold tones, where the Carnival of War appears to be darker, like black and gold tones. And that ties into another story beat we're gonna see later on here in First Ward. So I'm gonna, leave it as it is for now. I think one thing I can talk about that's not too spoilery, because it's not really something that's expressly stated in the early Praetorian content when you're leveling up a brand new character, um, like with Professor, or rather Interrogator Lareaux. Um, Hamadon was a scientist, um, and did an experiment on himself. And in Primal Earth, where Professor Lareaux was from, um, he turned into a giant amoeba and kind of took control of people by way of turning them into like weird plant creatures. And that group became known as the Devouring Earth, mainly because they seem to consume anyone and everything around them. Now, on Primal Earth, because heroes and villains are so prolific, the Devouring Earth and therefore Hamadon himself um, are kind of like kept in check at all times. In Praetoria, um, heroes are not as prolific because they're tightly controlled by the government, by Emperor Cole. And so, what ended up happening, uh, a lot of things that ended up happening in the history of Praetoria are like 10 times worse than the way they happened in Primal Earth. So, uh, Hamadon became, we don't actually know what Hamadon, or as they call him in Praetoria, the Hamadon. We don't actually know what he is. We've never seen the Praetorian Hamadon. But just like on Primal Earth, uh, he controls the Devouring Earth. But the Devouring Earth was much more potent. Um, and there are some story beats that we may actually be revealed as we level through Praetorian content. But essentially, there was like a whole war between um, Emperor Cole, the government, and Hamadon and the Devouring Earth. It was known as the Hamadon Wars. Um, so what we're going to be seeing here is we're not actually going to be seeing any Devouring Earth, except for a zone event that I probably won't be participating in because it's rarely something that people do anymore. Because it's group content, and so we'll see this big thing flying around, but that's going to be the extent of it. Mostly, what we're gonna be seeing here in First Ward is the destruction um, caused by the Hamadon Wars, but mainly this is a zone that tells the story of how this zone is a place of exile and what people have been doing to survive and things of that nature. So we're going to head back to Meredith here shortly, but we're going to continue this in our next episode. So until then, goodbye.